Good morning, Central Baptist Church family. Good to see you on this Tuesday. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Listen, we are quickly approaching the end of the book of Romans. So if you have a book of the Bible that you would like to do a daily Bible reading and study through, please leave your recommendation in the comments section below. We have through the end of April, so it can be a book anywhere from 20 to 30 chapters. Let's try to avoid like Genesis or larger books like that, 50 plus chapters. I like to take a more optimistic approach and assume that we are going to be done by the end of April with this whole pandemic and social distancing laws. But either way, we do want to still stay in the Word. So leave your recommendations in the comment section below, and we'll continue our study once we're done with the book of Romans this week. So we are already in Romans chapter 13, only a few more chapters to go after this. And today's passage was really applicable to our time. As you can see, I am sitting here in our auditorium, our beautiful auditorium, a place full of great memories, great preaching, great worship, great music. And I know we miss this place. I do, and I get to work here, so I get to see this place more than most that are watching this right now. But I miss being in church. I miss being around God's people. I miss being able to worship corporately together, and I hope you miss it as well. You know, maybe it was fun for a few days, a couple weeks to take a break from the monotony of daily life. But I'm sure if you're like most people, it's getting old. It's getting old real fast. And I cannot wait to be back in this place. I know a lot of people have really struggled of late with the whole social distancing laws that have required churches to shut their doors. That is really the word that has been used so many times, unprecedented. This has never really happened before. And there's been a lot of pushback from churches and pastors and a lot of other Christians that are really against the government telling churches to shut their doors. And I understand the aspect of separation of church and state, and I understand where some of these people are coming from, that they don't want to see government interfere with worship. The problem is, this isn't a battle worth fighting against the government, because the government is not singling out churches and trying to attack us. The government is trying to save the world from a pandemic, a world pandemic. And the churches that are fighting this, and the Christians and the pastors, all they're doing is giving Christians a black eye. All they're doing is making us look worse, because now churches are making the news because churches have infected 30 plus people because they refused to stop meeting. And now so-and-so got sick and they passed it to 30 other members and 2 people are dead. And these are real, like you've probably heard the news sightings of very similar stories to what I just recounted to you. And that was just a generic summary of the many stories I've read. And we need to make sure that we're being more respectful of our governmental authority, understanding they're not trying to attack God or religion, okay? They're just trying to keep us safe. And our reading today in Romans chapter 13 is so applicable for this time. Verse number 1, it says, "Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation." It's a pretty strong statement there in the end. And I get I'm always down for a good fight against injustice. I'm always down for a good fight against wickedness and against godlessness, okay? But this isn't talking about a government that is trying to remove God and religion. I know our government has plenty of problems. I know we have plenty of corrupt politicians out there that are doing that, in fact, and that are doing a bunch of horrible things. But that's not what's taking place right now in our lives. This isn't a governmental attack against Christianity. I've already said that, all right? What God is encouraging us to do, though, is to understand we have an obligation to respect those in authority over us, whether we agree with them or not. I don't care where you stand on the politics. That's not what matters here. What matters is our government has given us a disclaimer. They've given us advice. They've given, in some places, mandates. We need to respect that, not buck against it. All we do as Christians is look like fools when we're standing up against a government that's simply trying to save lives. And if we're going to resist the government at this time and make a big deal about it and fight about it, all we're doing is harming the testimony and reputation of our Savior Jesus Christ and our local church. So let's just fall in line and understand that the government isn't out to get us. So we need to respect our government, we need to support our local government, and we need to be an encouraging voice of reason to those around us during this crisis in our nation.